Hi, this is Josh Marshall with TPM Media. It's Tuesday, September 25th, 2007. You may not have known it, but most likely today, Tuesday, the 25th of September, the United States Senate will vote on an amendment to authorize war with Iran. Now, the amendment is actually called the Kyl-Lieberman Amendment, and on the surface it seems pretty innocent. It's an amendment authorizing the U.S. to take whatever steps are necessary to stop Iranian meddling, destabilizing in Iraq. But here's the thing. The Kyl-Lieberman Amendment actually sounds a lot like something called the Iraq Liberation Act, the ILA. Now, the ILA was passed in 1998. It was passed at a key time when President Clinton was particularly weak because of the Lewinsky scandal. And what it was put together by the Iraq hawks at the time, the neocons. And what it did, it put the United States on record as supporting regime change, quote unquote, in Iraq. And it passed a relatively small amount of money, about $100 million, most of which went to Ahmed Chalabi and the Iraqi National Congress. Now, here's the thing, and the key to understand here is that this is exactly the way the neocons operate. This new amendment, again, isn't that much in itself, but it's a process of laying the groundwork by a series of legislative enactments to make a war with Iran more and more inevitable. Again, this is just what happened with the Iraq Liberation Act. If you remember back in the build-up to the Iraq War in late 2001, 2002, 2003, one of the big things people said is, look, it's already our national policy to support the overthrow of the Iraqi government. Even President Clinton was for it, so what's the problem? And again, that's pretty much what they're trying to do now with the Kyl-Lieberman Amendment. Now, let me read you the key text of this amendment. And this is the part, comes after a series of sort of a bill of particulars against Iran, all the things they're doing wrong in Iraq. And here it says what the United States Senate is authorizing. Let me read it to you. It says, it should be the policy of the United States to combat, contain, and roll back the violent activities and destabilizing influence inside Iraq of the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran, its foreign facilitators such as Lebanese Hezbollah, and its indigenous Iraqi proxies, to support the prudent and calibrated use of all instruments of national power in Iraq, including diplomatic, economic, intelligence, and military instruments in support of the policy described in paragraph 3 with respect to the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran and its proxies. Now, you look at that, there's a couple ways you can read those two paragraphs. One is to say it just focuses on things specifically inside Iraq, but the reference to Lebanese Hezbollah means there's actually a much broader interpretation too, and that means that the U.S. should basically be at war with all Iranian proxy organizations in the region, which includes Hezbollah in Lebanon, includes Hamas, arguably, in the occupied West Bank and Gaza. It actually authorizes the use of force against a lot of different actors within the Middle East, not just within Iraq. The second point, again, is to look at that language. It talks about diplomatic, economic, all this kind of stuff, but the key is it authorizes whatever is necessary to achieve the ends noted, including military force. So what you have here is really a carte blanche allowing pretty much everything to stop a very broad and ambiguous list of bad acts by Iran. So watch out for the vote today. Depending on when you're watching me right now, you may even have a chance to call your senator and say how you'd like them to vote. In all likelihood, this is going to pass by a big margin because people feel like if they don't vote for it, it'll seem like they're soft on the Iranians sending IEDs and various explosive material into Iraq. So unfortunately, this is probably going to pass by a big margin. But again, the things to keep in mind are it's the exact same people who laid the groundwork for the Iraq War. And the purpose of this is to put in place a series of legislative building blocks to eventually make a war with Iran inevitable. Now, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. You know, the election season is starting to heat up now, and about once a week on TPM TV, we're going to try to do a question and answer. Readers and viewers will send in questions and about the election, about the primaries, about the Republicans, about the Democrats, and I'll do my best to answer those questions using what I know, and also we'll use the resources of our reporters who are covering the election. So you can send those in to us by video or just by email and say that it's for TPM TV and for our election Q&A sessions we're going to do a couple times a week. I'm Josh Marshall from TPM Media, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.